VGK had several opportunities last night, but the Golden Knights could only muster a single goal by defenseman William Kamek, who said afterward the VGK, they need to capitalize on chances moving forward. 3-1, the Kings defeat the Golden Knights last night in a game which saw VGK's leading returning goal scorer, go down with an injury. Tell you more next right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone, from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I am a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. And Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and he also has a new potty out, the Hockey News Collectibles Show with Chris Golick, starring Chris Golick. Coming up ahead on today's show, we recap the VGK Kings game. Boy, was that boring again. Get the preseason over with fast, please. Word is getting out as well that perhaps Jack Eichel wants a bigger contract. We kind of figured that. And if you're our VGK, do you got to have Hart? You got to have Hart. You can now catch us each day on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in at 1 o'clock each day, Monday through Friday. SSSEN is the place to be. YouTube TV, Cox Cable Channel 125. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Open up your account right now by going to FanDuel.com. So, Chris, again, just you go through the paces in some of these games, and you just hope that you can get out of these preseason exhibition games unscathed. We can talk about a preseason game that meant nothing. 3-1 the final, the Kings won. But of utmost concern was the lower body injury to Pavel Dorofeyev. He comes out of the game with about 6 minutes to go in the first period. And after the contest, Bruce Cassidy telling the media that the injury has pretty much been diagnosed as yet another muscle strain or pull, a.k.a. a tweak. Another tweak?
Yeah, and listen, if the Golden Knights are simply being overly cautious, it's a non-starter. Maybe Dorofeyev doesn't practice on Wednesday, doesn't play in the game on Thursday, get it back on the ice Friday. Maybe this is an absolute non-starter, or maybe it's not. It's been a very interesting preseason with all these little tweaks and things popping up. So far, nothing has been of really not even a major concern, but a concern. But again, until Dorofeyev is back on the ice, there's questions. And he's the leading VGK goal scorer on a team that just added another 100-point player who's going to dish the puck out a lot more. So you need Dorf. I mean, you don't have your leading scorer, you're not going to go too far, right?
Right. And Losey, it's taken him a while. I didn't know who Losey was. It's Lausanne, I guess. Lausanne. They have all these pet names, of course, and that's what Cassidy calls him, Lausanne. His has taken a little bit longer. We found out that was the same type of injury sustained by Jack Eichel. Maybe something to do with stretching and just pregame, right? And how you're preparing for the game. Who knows? VGK had 4 power play chances and couldn't score. 10 shots on goal, which is pretty good on the man advantage. So that's a positive. We saw some good chemistry between Tomas Hertl and Mark Stone.
Great.
Perhaps they were overpassing a couple of times. Stone hit the corner of the pipe. That shot, they called it a goal. Yeah. And even Stone was like, nope, did not go in. Didn't happen. He was laughing, and he knew it did not go in. Riley Smith hit the post later. Stone couldn't tuck in another shot, but he was just fumbling the puck. It's okay. It's all about timing right now. And I know that Bruce Cassidy would like to find some sort of a diamond in the rough, but we know that he's concentrating heavily on the veteran group. And Carlson, Smith, and Stone, I feel, grabbed the most attention. Hertl and Stone, 4 shots apiece. And 4 shots apiece, so 8 of the 53 shots on goal last night. So that was the line, I think, of interest with Carlson, Smith, and Stone, and then filling in the piece for Dorofeyev.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel there was definitely some chemistry with the Stone, Carlson, and Smith out there. You saw Hertl chipping in as well as far as on the power play opportunities, and you felt there was some chemistry there. You felt there was some elements of the power play that you hope to see once the season kicks off in 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever the number is right now. So some okay takeaways, but I put rusty in the title. It just felt very rusty. Hutton turnover takes the penalty and didn't lead to a power play goal, but it ends up costing. And what you don't like on that power play goal is the board play. You don't like White Cloud can't clear the puck, and White Cloud is important. So we're gonna definitely be critical of White Cloud. White Cloud doesn't clear the puck. Hertl loses a battle. White Cloud lost a battle. Boom, the Kings find some soft ice, and Aiden Hill gets beat clean. Again, it's preseason, but these are things to keep an eye on.
Oh, can we please mention the name 100 times of Braden Bowman? Please, we need to do that in pressers and otherwise. He did get some substantial minutes, and Cassidy said afterwards they want to take a look at him in the presser. Remember, we were talking over the summer about who might take Alex Petrangelo's minutes, right? Because he played so many minutes. Well, leading candidate already, Noah Hannafin, the leader, 26 minutes, 10 seconds. Hey, something positive here, though. When I went back and looked at the box score, 12 shots on goal for the defenseman. So they're shooting the puck and maybe perhaps a little bit more aggressive. To me, I think here in the preseason, what I'd like to see them gain timing. Timing is so important. Conditioning of utmost important currently in light of everything that's happening with all these tweaks of sorts. And then, just putting the puck on net. I don't care if the shots go in or not, but for the Golden Knights, remember they missed by a country mile on those wide open shots a season ago and in the playoffs. To me, just put the puck on net. Who cares? I don't care if you win or lose these games. To me, that would be progress if they could put the stinking puck on net.
More importantly than the play in the offensive zone, because that's going to come. There's too much skill on this team and talent and historical data of scoring for this team not to score well once the games matter in a couple of weeks. But I want to see crisper play in the neutral zone. I want to see those timing, plays come back. And last night was anything but that. You saw some rough play. Even Riley Smith on the final on the empty netter for the Kings. Riley Smith, I don't know why he's even trying to carry the puck around someone in the neutral zone. It's chip the puck deep, or it's just it's a preseason, but it's a preseason veteran mistake that shouldn't happen. Set off terrible play as far as turnover early in the game that led to the Kings' second goal, I believe. And again, it's just a matter of reminding the young players and the vets and everything in between how slim the margins are between winning and losing. And the moments that set a goal in motion, if you will, the things that lead to a goal, it's not necessarily what happens at the end of the finishing play, but it's what happens 25, 30, 35 seconds before the goal happens. And those moments are much easier to pick out in the preseason versus once the regular season starts.
Did I mention the name of Braden Bowman? Okay. The goaltenders. Aiden Hill beaten top shelf by Taylor Ward in the first. Akira Schmid beaten on a rebound shot by Jeff Mallett. And there was an empty netter by Trevor Moore, and that was it. And, of course, we mentioned the VGK goal. Anton Forsberg, acquired from Ottawa, played the entire game and looked pretty sharp for the most part. He did. He looked good.
Yeah, no, 100%. The Kings definitely, in general, seemed a little crisper than VGK, and I didn't really look too closely. I got it right here. Kings lineup. Kings didn't put a whole lot out there right now.
No.
So, but you got players that are playing for a roster spot versus VGK has some players that are just trying to get the timing back and not necessarily going even 75%. So the recipe was there for the Golden Knights to lose this game, and you did like what you saw from some of the vets. So it was, I don't know. Thursday's going to be more exciting. Thursday will be the unofficial Mitch Marner premiere, I think.
And maybe Losey will be back. And Kai Uchez stood out. He definitely stood out. A couple of block shots in the game last night. By the way, the player of the game at -1 was William Karlsson. Coming up next, Is the price of Jack Eichel's contract extension rising? We'll get to that when we return on this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure that you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. By Wednesday of each week, things start ramping up with everyone just really texting me and telling me who's going to win and what have you and what props are the best and all that. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you can get $300 in bonus bets to use across the application. We definitely love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. They've got the player props, they've got building the same game parlay, or even you can jump into the live action as it unfolds. And big game here, the showdown. We've talked about it. The Raiders -1 over Gaulick's Bears, the Bears. 50% of the crowd, by the way, will be Bears fans.
I'll take the over. I'll take
and
the
that
over.
Is 48. So Gaulick says take the over.
49.
And it does make every game exciting, whether you're watching your team like the Bears, I don't watch my Jets, or if you keep an eye on your hundreds of fantasy lineups like Gaulick does. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today. You can visit FanDuel.com. Get things started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Welcome back on this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. Oh, I'm so depressed. That game. Someone on the post-game show said that it was an exciting game. It was so boring that I was going back and forth between the application and I listened some on the radio, and it was like baseball play-by-play. It's a beautiful day here, at the rink, and Farmer John hot dogs, and the pace of the game was not good. Was it exciting to you? Was it exciting?
I didn't watch the game too closely, admittedly. There's some other things going on right now at the moment, but I definitely I watched, but I did watch the condensed highlights.
Day at the ballpark. It was it. Yeah.
I watched the 10-minute highlight package this morning, looked at some of the stats and everything, and it was better than the last preseason game against the Sharks.
Yes, and no.
Watching paint dry, it was better than the last preseason game against the Sharks, so it's loading in fruit right there.
But there were some really bad lulls in this game, and to call it exciting.
Preseason hockey, of course.
I get it. It wasn't exciting. It was not. The cost of doing business with Jack Eichel could be rising. And we guessed this, and we've talked about it a bunch of times. And so appearing on Oilers Now with Bob Stauffer, NHL insider Elliot Friedman had a lot to say. He said it's likely that Jack Eichel resigns here because he likes Las Vegas. We get all of that. But he said, as predicted by us, with everything going on, with all of the free agents, he said the numbers are going up. He says Eichel and VGK are trying to find a, quote, sweet spot. So we've seen it, right? And we have to wonder what that number and that sweet spot is. Does the number now, based on what we've seen, again, and starting at the top there with Kaprizov and McDavid's in the mix, and is that number, has it escalated to 13 to 14 million, or do you think they want more?
I think that's kind of come and gone, and I don't know if an official offer has been made. I don't know if VGK and McCrimmon and Eichel's agent, I don't know if they're, passing the napkin with the number up and back to each other and sliding it over and not saying, I'm not sure how this happens here.
They asked to borrow one of my napkins. They did. They want to borrow one of my napkins.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I feel like yesterday's price is not today's price at this point.
It's not.
I think if Eichel's camp did have a magic number in mind, let's say on August the 1st, I think that magic number has changed. And you wonder if Eichel's magic number was just say 13.5 and VGK came in at, let's go 13. And Eichel's camp said, okay, we'll get back to you. Now I think that number's gone a little bit higher. And I think the longer this thing takes, the more control that Jack Eichel has. You mentioned the sweet spot, kind of like a baseball reference. It's an at bat right now. And every pitch, the situation changes as far as where the pitch location is going to be and all of that. And I think the Golden Knights' best pitch, if you will, might have come and gone a a couple of weeks ago, and now they're down 0-2 in the count, so to speak, here, and now the pitcher is going to throw a couple pitch whatever they want in there, and I just don't feel too warm and fuzzy about this.
No.
And so again, we talked about checkpoints, right, Tony?
Yeah.
First checkpoint, July 1st, maybe boom, that day, here it comes. That's come and gone. Softball game 2 weeks later, that's come and gone. The start of training camp.
You can't talk to him, or maybe you can get in one question, not about the contract.
Yeah, the start of training camp has come and gone. Now we're already halfway through training camp, maybe even a little bit less, but close enough, about halfway through training camp. So the next checkpoint, we'll call it, is the day before the regular season starts. If it's not then it's just the temperature keeps rising a little bit here. And every day that goes by, Jack has more leverage and the number might be going up.
Yeah, we did. We started to wonder if Eichel would be signing before the start of the season, as many had predicted.
Softball game would have been a beautiful time. It would have been a perfect time.
There was so much money on the table, and everyone thought it was a fait accompli, right? Just sign it, done, move on.
Layup.
Everyone's happy, right? Layup. Kaprizov gets things rolling, $16 million a year. We don't know what McDavid will command.
Jeez.
And do we feel, again, what is that number? What is that sweet spot? It's got to be in that 14 mil range right now. And I think
I think 14 is the least we're going to see as far as AAV goes. And I think it's going to be higher at this point.
And it's going to keep going up, right? I'd sign for as much money and a shorter term if I'm the Eichel camp. I really would. And any player. I'm not going for 8 years, because you could go through this scramble again in 4 years and you would optimize the amount of money that you're going to make in your career. And the players do have the leverage. Why? Because the numbers are on the table. They know that the salary cap's going to be going up substantially every year.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the salary cap, this is where I wonder if the NHL is going to put itself in a financial corner here, and so to speak, where the contracts keep going up, and do the ticket sales and the sponsorship deals and the TV deals. Is there going to be enough money for these teams to operate, at a level of profitability? Vegas is in a great spot, being right here on the Las Vegas Strip. Your original 6 teams are usually going to be okay. A lot of your Canadian markets are going to be okay, but even the Florida Panthers with 2 Stanley Cups, you're going to see empty seats galore when you're watching regular season games. And Winnipeg is a team that doesn't draw in the regular season. And the list goes on and on and on. And at the end of the day, money matters. Money matters, and maybe this is where the teams that do perform well financially will end up getting a major boost, because the Golden Knights will be right up against the salary cap. If it's whether it's $88 million or $137 million, Foley and McCrimmon are going to max out that credit card.
Wait until the ticket prices go soaring at the start of 2026. Just watch everything.
So we can blame Eichel if he gets his extension. Then
everyone's going to have to pay for Eichel's extension.
Eichel tax.
The crazy thing, again, it just sticks in my mind. What Eichel said the other day just it sent me into a tizzy. He just said that it's out of his hands now. So yes, on the napkin, they pass it across the table. McCrimmon, of course, could you imagine him in negotiations? It's got to be. I wish that they would film it, because it probably just looks at it and no reaction, stoic. Okay, we'll see you next week, whatever.
Yeah, I could see that. It would be very boring. Or he could just take off his glasses and be like,
he's stoic.
Are you crazy?
He's just stoic. It's out of his hands now. That is the quote of the week for me in these negotiations.
Well, that tells me that Jack's camp has a number on the table.
There's a number there.
Sign me right effing now, and hangs up the phone. Slapshot reference.
We do have some
trade
movement.
me.
So Kaprizov, not convinced that the offer will go up for Kaprizov, said Elliot Friedman. And he feels that the Wild will watch it just play out now. Either he wants to be with the Wild or not.
No, I think Kaprizov definitely. There's some tension there, and I think the money may not even matter in Minnesota at this point, unless it's like a short 2-year deal where they're going to pump him like $18.5 million or something. We'll see.
It's a beautiful day at the barn, and everyone's waiting to see who signs first. That's what it is, right?
Yep.
Which player signs first and sets everything off. And that's kind of fun, right, to watch right now. It is. Unless, of course, you're an owner of a team and management, and you're just sitting there waiting and seeing if your most valuable player, so to speak, is going to sign that deal.
Marner's lined up for 8 years.
They got Marner for 8. I don't know how, but
It feels like a low deal.
He just wanted to leave. He just wanted to leave.
It feels like a cookie of a deal for VGK.
It's absolutely a cookie deal. Coming up next, VGK is said to be one of the couple of teams now, couple of suitors or more that are looking for the services of free agent goaltender Carter Hart. We'll get to that as we return on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Just something funky, right, with this weather change. And I don't know, something's going on in the head. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks so much. We get allergies here on this show, like repeat. I think we're allergic now to the Eichel deal. What are we allergic to? Each other. That too, of course. You're a good sounding board for me. I appreciate that. And we appreciate everyone tuning in. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So you, Chris, you're the one. You said it. You thought, I said no, but you thought VGK might be getting involved and showing some interest for the former Philadelphia Flyers goaltender Carter Hart. Recently acquitted in the Team Canada court case. In less than a month, he and 4 other players become eligible to sign new deals, new contracts, and that's on October the 15th. And I don't care what McCrimmon says. I don't care what anyone says. You can tell VGK, they're not comfortable having Akira Schmid as the number 2 goaltender. End of story. End of story. Correct?
I don't know what Akira Schmid has done to make anyone feel comfortable. He had a nice moment with the New Jersey Devils in the 22-23 season. 18
and that's all they talk about. And they beat my
18 games,
Rangers.
2-1-3 goals against at a .922 save percentage. Did play 9 playoff games and put up a .921 save percentage in a .235. That tells me that he did his job, but the team in front didn't, unfortunately. Now, what has he done since then? Schmida, 8.95 in 19 games the following season. Only 5 appearances with the Golden Knights and a .944 save percentage, but 5 appearances is not an accurate measuring stick for anything. So where do we go right now? And maybe Schmid will be okay. Maybe he won't be okay. I don't know. But it just does not seem like the Golden Knights are comfortable with the prospects of him being the backup. You look at Malcolm Subban about 6, 7, 8 years ago now. Subban was okay, right? In the season 1, he was the top backup as far as games played and everything. A lot of injuries to all the goalies. You remember how that played out. And then it took 2 years later, and all of a sudden we're not comfortable with this. Here comes Robin Lehner, and then obviously that set off an amazing goalie carousel and ride and everything. So fast forward to a 2025-26 season, Golden Knights are in the same spot, and Schmid, I think, is a concern. Adin Hill has done a great job in getting his body right, and hopefully he can get another 50 to 55 appearance season. That still leaves 30-35 games, depending on how the math shakes out for a backup goaltender. And are they comfortable with Lindbaum? Maybe not. I don't know. But a season of Carter Hart, I understand the off ice stuff. I understand the ruling that was made. I understand everything happening here. But it makes sense for both sides. And it seems like the Golden Knights and the Hurricanes are the last 2 teams standing in the, I don't know what the right word is here, in the interest for Carter Hart's.
Yeah, so the Athletics' Chris Johnson, the first to report the top 2 teams in the mix, VGK and Carolina. Plus, he said there are a couple of other teams in the mix, and that shows us that VGK is serious. And you know what happens when another competitor starts to bid. You're not going to outbid us, right?
Well, VGK is they're
always has the edge. They always
VGK has a number. It's $1.2 million.
Right.
If they get to that point, it's take it or leave it, Carter Hart. And
right, in a private deal that they can set off.
If the Golden Knights did offer Carter Hart,
Las Vegas can give them $100,000 probably as a sponsorship.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever happens off the ice, that's probably wouldn't be the first time. But point being is, Carter Hart would be silly to say no to an opportunity with the Golden Knights or the Hurricanes.
Free card detailing. He gets the free card detailing for sure.
Carter Hart would be silly not to take $1 million, 1.1, 1.2, whatever the number is, on a bridge with a Stanley Cup contending Golden Knights team. Adin Hill could go down and only play 26 games, leaving
that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly as much as, VGK and McCrimmon say that they are looking for an upgrade to play behind Adin Hill. Again, this lessens the workload. So maybe they
It
know,
definitely lessens the workload of Adin
maybe
Hill.
they know that Adin Hill is not a 50-game goaltender. Do you think?
He is. I think
I
he
mean,
is. I think
you
he
think
does.
he is?
I
You
think
think
he
he can
is.
play 50 complete games?
He did last year. Why not?
Okay, and
And
go to
he's gone
the
up every
Olympic.
single year. I mean,
Well, we
if
know
anyone's
Hart
going
won't
to give
be
you an
going to the
accurate,
Olympic games. That's for sure.
I mean, if anyone's going to give you an accurate perspective on Hill, I think I'm capable of that in the sense that I have dragged Hill to where and back.
Yeah, you've gone back and
I
forth
was
on that.
not happy with the Logan Thompson situation. Still to this day, I'm not happy about it. But you have to look at what Adin Hill has accomplished since coming to Vegas. Every single season, he has upped his appearances. His game is fine. He's not a top 10 goaltender in this league, but that doesn't mean he's not a very, very good, capable goaltender. And by the way, he was pretty good in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Not just once, but twice he's had a couple good shots in the playoffs. So I'm fine with Adin Hill as a 50-55 game goaltender. But if you have a Carter Hart, you can maybe even go
It's
a
insurance.
little closer to 50-50.
Yeah, it's definitely an insurance policy for the Golden Knights. And even when they've had great goaltenders and they played 5 goaltenders, in a week or whatever, it's never been that stable based on maybe perhaps the way they've played those goaltenders or what have you, right? It never seems to be settled here, at least in my opinion. And Hart made what, close to 5 million? And so you think he'll take $1 million plus for a
He'll
chance, an
take a
opportunity
very
to win?
reasonable deal to get his name back out there. And real fast, let's just assume March 28th, Adin Hill goes down with a season and postseason
A
ending
tweak.
injury.
It's got to be a tweak.
What for sure? Let's say it happens March the 28th. Now you have Schmidt and Lindbaum.
Right.
That's
That's
an
good. Lindbaum.
absolute stake in the heart of the Golden Knights as far as the season right there. So whether it is Carter Hart or someone that gets cut from another team or another type of transaction, I don't think the Golden Knights are comfortable with Schmidt. Now, maybe Lindbaum just comes in and steals it.
They
Great.
are not. They are absolutely not settled on Akira. And again, and what if you are Schmidt right now and these rumors start circulating? Are you going to have to go and say, "Oh, we have to walk this back"?
Schmidt's going to have to go and play really well.
He's going to have to play very well for sure. Thanks so much for tuning in, especially our everydayers tuning in around the world. Again, welcome to our good friends here tuning in on SSSEN here in
Shout out
Las
to
Vegas.
Singapore. Where's Singapore these days?
They're still number 3 with a bullet. They're hanging in there. We'll have to talk more about Singapore in the upcoming days. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Please take care.